right, new start.
We have our second repeat guest.
Yes.
Josh Bridges.
Hey,
clarified.
guys. Thanks for having me
He doesn't
on.
mind one bit that he's the second one.
Thanks for having me.
Not
on.
at all. He actually likes it,
No.
I think, that he's the second one.
Yeah, I'm good. Second. My best finish at the games.
To who?
Is it?
Some loser.
When were you second at the games?
2011.
This was before it. Well,
Yeah, you were probably like a child at that point.
No, she's as old as you are.
Are you older than me or
No,
older?
she's 34.
See,
I am not.
She'll be 34.
Why are you trying to steal a year of my life? I don't do that to you.
She'll be 34
No,
in
I'm
October.
not.
Solid.
You don't know. You don't know
October.
anything.
Jeez,
You don't know what year I was
2011.
born.
I was like 40 or something. I don't know.
You're like 49.
Just crushing it.
Oh, Silver.
What is up?
What are you reading?
These are the questions we're going through today. This is we're just
Just-
slingshotting all over the place.
As if Ellie needed more questions. She has
Right,
a book
yeah,
with
you don't have them in your
1,001
head.
questions.
Book
I
of
think
questions.
we all asked these one time when we were on a car ride.
Not really. We're already starting off with questions, huh? You really didn't have
gonna-
anything.
No,
You-
We're
zero.
not having a discussion. We're not
Zero.
going to talk.
No
We're not
current
gonna-
events like
No.
the 12 kids that were rescued out of the cave.
Did they get rescued, by the way?
Yeah, they're all out.
They're all out.
All out, and the soccer coach.
That's not funny, but you said in a
In
cage.
a cage. I
Some-
did say in a
So-
cage.
Some guy died, though, right?
Yeah, Thai Navy SEAL.
Oh, that's terrible.
How do you feel about that?
What about
That they're called Navy SEAls. Did they still like?
No, I think every country has
Has
that.
their own Navy
Yeah,
SEALs?
Yeah, we work with in Budsdale. Actually, bring the foreign SEALs in.
Oh, nice.
And we'll actually.
That sucks that the guy died.
Yeah, we had a Korean SEAL in my Buds class
Nice.
with me. He was a stud.
Oh, so they make them
He
go
was
through
good?
the
He was
buds.
good?
They go. Yeah, they come over to and go through our Buds.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, that was cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but one of the guys died trying to get back there.
How?
Ran out of oxygen coming back, I
I think
guess.
he was
Oh.
placing oxygen tanks along the...
In the
path
either
or
along
whatever.
the path or in the cavern that they were in because
Yeah.
the oxygen was starting to get depleted, I guess.
Right.
And so
Oh, that's so sad.
That's
he
crazy.
passed out, ran out of
Yeah.
oxygen.
What
So,
a crazy story.
I didn't really understand what happened.
so they went in this cave and it was like 4 kilometers long. So 4,000 meters long. And it goes up and down and rises and falls. Well, they
Okay.
were at the very end, I think, and that was part of their deal. Is they went on this like team building experience and like an initiation for the team. That's what I read. And they went in this cave and got all the way to the back. You have to like sign your name on the wall of the cave. Well, the rains came and filled up certain pockets, so they
Oh,
couldn't get back. So they were
gotcha.
like pushed back to the end. And so some of the kids, I don't even think could swim. And then some,
It was like a monsoon, right?
Yeah,
it
it was-
wasn't like just rain.
yeah,
Like,
it's like their rainy season or whatever.
Okay.
Nuts, man.
Did they have to bring them oxygen?
Yeah, they brought them oxygen. They put them in these like tubes and like
Oh.
carried them back, and
Wow.
it was crazy. And then they have to where they sat inside with no light, no anything for so long that they have to like quarantine them for a week in the hospital and like
Show them
slowly like bring them back into the light because it's their eyes are just gonna be messed up.
I'm
That's
sure
what I
they
feel
get-
like every morning when I wake up.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Slowly bring me back into the light.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of things like the food they won't be able
Yeah.
to eat. Like they'll have to like slowly start to eat after not eating for that
Yeah.
long. You know, things like that.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I feel every morning when I wake up. What
How
I'm
are you
talking about
feeling,
here.
Silver?
What are
I'm
you-
fine.
No
I'm
coffee.
fine.
Good.
What are you
No
doing? The
coffee.
keto diet, or are you doing that intermittent fasting or something?
He intermittent fast.
I am doing that right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
No, I was literally just guessing.
Yeah.
He looks like a fasting kind of guy.
Yeah, you look thin, man. You need to eat something.
I do.
Get him a hamburger.
I'm still like 196 pounds. What the heck, man?
Did you ever fast?
I mean,
Do you do any of that diet business?
not willfully.
That's fair.
No, I don't do any of the keto or anything like that. I
You just eat food.
I'm just eating cleaner, a lot cleaner.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
We had
Like-
steak and sweet potatoes for lunch yesterday.
I had
Ooh.
That was one meal.
Yeah.
What about
Eggs.
like for dinner?
I had
What did you guys have for
eggs.
dinner?
eggs and sweet potato for breakfast,
Okay.
and then dinner last night we had Marlon's
Marla made some enchiladas.
enchiladas.
They were
Oh,
good.
that's
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was
And
delicious.
rice.
Tasia said you made coffee this morning.
I did. Made
Like-
Tasia and Kristen.
Some good coffee, right?
I don't make anything else.
Yeah. She said it was good.
The only kind of coffee.
Yeah.
What'd you say was this one? It had what
It
in
was
it?
an Ethiopian.
It had honey and
Well,
orange
It had notes of honey.
and
Notes
orange.
of honey.
Notes of
Notes of
honey.
honey
Is that a
and
word
orange.
that you use when you're
Yeah, right.
notes of honey?
Hey, man.
Where's your favorite coffee from?
I like the most African coffees, like Ethiopia, Kenyans. Those are some. Of
Why
my
do they
favorite.
have good coffee?
I don't know. It's just the way I like the way they taste. They're typically brighter.
But are they known for having good coffee there? Or
Yes.
you're just like,
So Ethiopia was actually where coffee was conceived.
Conceived, huh?
Yeah.
Birds and the bees.
Right. Yeah.
How? When? Give us more details.
I don't know the whole story, so let's not go into it.
Fact check. Where's Kristen?
We can fact
She's
check
gone.
that.
I need to fact check
Do
this.
it. Do it.
Well,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna try.
It's kind of
can't
interesting
do
to me
everything
that
at
like
once.
all the best coffee comes from.
I'll do it. You do your
There's like a
questions.
belt. So there's a coffee belt that wraps it's kind of like on the equator.
Okay.
And so that's where coffee can be
climate's
grown.
the best
climate's,
for-
yeah.
I gotcha.
Around the equator.
Yeah. I think it's just a little north of the equator, actually.
Do you like espresso and things like that, or no?
I do. I like espresso. It's just not something. I just like my morning cup of coffee the most, but I'll have espressos.
How come you cut back from 2 cups to 1 cup? This still hurts me. Like,
I
I'm
know
disturbed by it.
Just me. It pains me every day. I cut back just for the health benefits of. I sleep better. My adrenals aren't so fried all day because basically what my
One possible origin of the name is the kingdom of Kaffa in Ethiopia, where the coffee plant
There you
originated.
go.
Its name there is Bun or Bunna or Buna, I don't know. A National Geographic feature tells us that the beans were first brewed in the 11th century and were pretty widespread in the Muslim community by the 13th century.
there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but back to the
Sorry.
why I stopped. It was just she was basically like, okay, you wake up, you have coffee, which does kind of like gets you going, amps you up, right? Your adrenals are getting used, and then you work out, right? Your body's getting stressed. Then you sit down, you come in, you have a second cup of coffee, so you're stressing your body even more.
And then you work out again.
And then you work out again, and then you go to sleep and you take melatonin, and it's like so you're burning the candle at like 3 ends. So
I just
how many ends are on a candle?
It's why is that a question?
I'm just saying.
2?
But did you get to what I was saying there?
Mm-hmm.
3 ends.
There's
What?
not 3 ends.
There's not 3 ends.
Okay,
two.
I got
There's
you.
two.
Well, so I just chugged a spark, but I don't feel
I
like.
just chugged a spark. You're definitely burning your candle
Yeah.
at 3
But
ends.
see, I don't feel like it doesn't like get me amped. Like it's like a mood enhancer. Like I just feel happy.
No, that's how I was too.
I'm like,
I don't.
oh
get,
no, there's a little.
I don't get any sort of coffee buzz at all.
Yeah, that's
ever.
what I like. Don't feel
But it's also it's not like on the inside, so it doesn't say it's not that
So
it's
you're
doing
saying
something.
I'm taxing my adrenals and my candle's flaming.
Yes.
I haven't had coffee
And
in
it
3
took me-
days, and I feel way better now.
Really?
It took me like I was doing that for about 3-4 years. So it was like all of a sudden just caught up.
Gotcha.
Like the last in the 16 and 17 games, like I felt good, but like I could tell something was off.
And you think it's because it was your adrenals were
Yeah.
tired?
That and some other stuff. But,
Okay.
And you only have caffeine when you're
Competition.
competing.
Yep.
What do you drink? Whatever.
Whatever.
Just caffeine.
Caffeine. Yeah, I don't drink coffee.
I know.
Josh hates me for that.
I don't hate him. I'll get him there. He has 3
Someday.
kids. He has 3 kids. You should have seen the way this
Don't
guy
give
looked.
in.
You should have seen the way Rich looked when he woke up the other day.
Sunday morning.
I was like, this
You were,
this dude's at a very. He's like on a high speed course towards coffee.
I
Yeah.
thought about it that day.
Like-
I was hurting. Birthday party, 7 little girls.
No.
Trice didn't sleep whatsoever.
I wonder if it would have
I mean, it
affected
looked
you.
like he looked like he got smacked in the face with a 2x4.
I felt like that.
Yeah, that's one of the first times I've ever seen you look really tired.
Yeah.
You,
tired.
your eyes
I
were
was
like
not happy. No, there was a couple other times earlier this year when we first got Violet.
Oh yeah, there were a couple times this year
I
you've
was
been
like,
tired.
I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Dude, there were so
Can you
many
die
kids
of being
here.
so tired.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Can you die of sleep deprivation?
I'm sure you could.
That's why it's a big deal. I thought.
Just think about it. All
It
those
definitely
kids,
makes you hallucinate and stuff.
all that sugar, all that cake, all
Yeah.
that fun.
No,
Yeah.
there was none of that here.
Just kids wired.
You're wired.
I mean,
Surprisingly, they all went to bed.
I could because the
Pretty
sugar,
early.
At some point, the sugar just crashed.
They all went to bed downstairs. Hillary stayed down there with them because she was worried. Well, then, so I go up, sleep upstairs. It's me and Trice. And then Trice was teething or something. It was just cried for an hour and a half. And I was like, we're going to try self-soothing. No, that never worked. He cried literally for an hour and a half. And then Hillary brought Emma, my niece, upstairs because she didn't want to sleep downstairs. She didn't want to sleep with Hillary. She wanted to sleep with me. Well, then Emma was crying. Well, then Trice would calm down. Emma would cry. Emma would cry, or Trice would cry when Emma would calm down. It was just it was like ping pong. I was like,
They're just singing off of each other. 2
awful.
hummingbirds.
it was awful.
You remember that when your kids were little?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, mine the night time's not that bad, but like all day long. I'll tell you what, boys and girls are so different.
I don't know. Lakeland's pretty.
Lakeland is, but she's not loud.
No, she's not loud.
She's not loud. Like that's what the thing about Jack and Knox is. They're just so loud all the time. You're like, shut up. And I don't want to be like yelling at them, like, hey, don't have fun. Don't be a kid. You know.
Don't be a kid.
I'm like, I just gotta get out of this house. It's so loud in here.
Yeah, Lakeland's not really loud.
Yeah,
she's just into everything and wide open all the time.
She's crazy too.
She's awesome, but.
Yeah, awesome. In an awesome way.
You're right in the middle of that stage of life, man.
Yeah,
They're just going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, I'm watching Jack pick Knox up, and he's like, because they're really into WWE wrestling right now, right?
Oh, gosh.
Huge. And I see him on the couch, and I'm like over there making breakfast. He's like, Knox, let me do my special move to you.
I can't imagine what that is.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stop this. Let me just kind of see what's happening. And I look up, and he's got Jack or Knox in this. He's just holding them up, you know, like hand between the legs, holding around the neck, and he's like facing away from the couch, and then he's like going to turn, and I'm like, no! I literally screamed, I'm like, no! And he lands and is like crashes on the couch, and his neck's like off the couch, and I'm like, dudes, you know, like we can't do this. I'm like, you almost just broke his neck.
Didn't you just take him to like a show?
We went to the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
like, man, it was awesome.
Who's their guy? I mean, who's the?
So now because of this story that I'm about to tell, it's Seth Rollins. So we're in the stands, and Seth Rollins is a CrossFitter. I think he's come up here.
With us. Cool dude, real good guy.
And so he's one of the champs, and so was the main event, main fight of the night was him and I can't remember the other guy who was fighting. But we were sitting second row, and the people in front of us were little kids, so we basically had front row. And he's fighting, and the fight was a long fight, and they get done, and he like points at me in the crowd, and then like does a burpee in the ring, and then comes over and like says what's up, and the boys were just like blown away. You know, they were
that is cool. All of a sudden,
stoked, right? And so it was really cool. So now it's Seth Rollins.
Right on.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you met him before?
No, I'd never met him. No.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, they must have had their mind blown.
Yeah, they were pretty stoked. That's actually, so it's Knox's birthday tomorrow, and he's like, and I'm like, so what's the big gift? You know, Jack got a cool bike for his birthday, and he's like, what's the big gift you want? He's like, I don't want a bike, Dad. I want 11 wrestlers. 11, you know, like figurines.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
11.
Oh,
11.
Why 11?
I don't know. I don't know what the significance of 11 was, but I think he was doing the math. Like he's super fixated on money right now, and like he's always
what
like,
do you mean?
He wants to have $100 in his little bank.
I wonder where he gets that from. From you, maybe?
No.
Checking your portfolio every day?
Yeah. Everything's in the greens.
Yeah, right. Strong to quite strong. But he's just like stoked on money, and so I don't know, maybe he was doing the math, like he knows how much they cost, you know, because we get them every time we go to Target. We get one. So
how old's he gonna be?
He's gonna be 6.
6.
Should have said 12, double his age.
Right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I mean. That would have been a lot. They're like $20.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Jeez, so what are you gonna do for his birthday?
I'm not sure. Probably, you know, we'll have a good time. We'll have fun.
We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like boys, they're just loud, and they just yours just go at it.
That's
they
all
just
they do.
wrestle and
all day long.
Yeah.
All day, it doesn't stop. And then I have to separate them for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, you go in there, you go in here. You guys need some alone time because all they do is fight. That's it. They're just like, and not like, you know, they're wrestling, and then they're fighting, and then someone gets hurt, someone cries.
There you go.
I mean, it's just the standard order. It just doesn't. It happens every time, and I'm like, what did you guys expect?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're coming to me crying. You were sitting there wrestling and fighting each other. You're hitting each other.
Yeah.
And then one guy does it a little too hard, and then boom, eruption.
Can you guys tell now the difference between an actual hurt cry?
Oh yeah.
And then one that you're like, nah.
All right, come on.
And I'm like, hey Knox, you punched him in the face. I saw you. He punched you back. What did you expect? I don't. He hit me in the face really hard. I'm like, I know, but you hit him in the face. That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
A reaction
Lily
has a reaction.
Same way.
I mean, I remember getting fireman's carried and all that. It hurt.
Your brother?
I can't imagine
yeah.
you being annoying at all.
No.
I was the worst.
I can't imagine it ever being your fault.
I wanted to be wherever he was.
That doesn't sound
Have
like
we ever
your
told
fault.
the story about how she was bugging you? bugging you,
No.
bugging you, and bugging you, and bugging you, and bugging you.
This is so good.
And she would not
she
leave
sprayed
you
me with
alone.
a hose.
And then she squirted you with the hose, and you had it.
Sometimes he needs to calm down.
I took
He
her down.
picked her up like. I'm not talking about a little bit. I mean, he picked her full up and body slammed her. I thought somebody was getting hurt.
And then,
This was like the
And
first
then
time
he
like Jim was
waterboarded
like,
her with the hose.
like
full. The hose out there is like hard pressure,
I thought I
and
was
I
gonna
just
drown.
stuck it in her face.
I was like,
She
And
went
just
up in the air like a doll.
I was
like a
gurgling
doll.
water. I was like,
I was like, Ellie, stop. In my defense, I was like, Ellie, stop.
Oh yeah.
Ellie, stop.
No, she deserved it.
Ellie, stop.
You totally deserved it.
Don't
There was
do
no
this.
question.
Stop.
I sprayed you with
Listen.
water.
But that was only part of it. Up to that, you just were bugging him and picking on him and pushing on him. He ragdolled her hard, and I hadn't really been around that much. I mean, I thought maybe I need to go. Like, I don't need to see this.
You need to see this, Jim.
Man,
This is what happens when you pick on Rich.
man, and she got up quiet too. There was no more.
Washed
It
all of her
was
makeup off her
done.
face, like
I was-
just straight
I was
drowned
pretty
rat.
soggy.
That was pretty epic.
One of my favorite was when she tried to get him back from getting picked on all the time, and she took a pie and slammed
You
it
know
in
that
his
this
face.
is not a public story and it's on video, but Rich,
Yeah.
Maybe
You
cry.
barely got me.
Yeah.
I turned my head, and
Yeah.
you got my hat.
the reality is I pied you in the face.
No, you didn't.
I did so.
You have to get a full pie in the face.
It
Did you know I
it
pied
was
him in the
yeah,
face?
it was
The worst
I
part was
don't
that
know
these
anything
guys
about this.
knew,
it was a side shot.
and they didn't tell me.
They were all conspiring.
It's all right.
It was your
No.
turn.
It's all right. You don't do that to your boys.
It's all right. I think you actually do.
No, if it was one of them, yes.
Rich
if
was-
like they were gonna do it, that's fine. But you don't let somebody else.
I got
Rich
you.
was
At
not
least
saw what I
had
Rich was
gone
not happy
through.
with anybody at
No,
that
I was
moment.
not
He was
happy.
like, he walked away, and everyone's like, oh no, yeah.
It just got quiet.
But yeah, earlier that
Froning's
day,
pissed.
my face was in the chalk bucket.
Yeah,
Literally
right,
in the
yeah.
chalk
because
bucket.
you were you don't know when to stop.
This is
true.
not true.
No, it is true.
You took the phone and slammed it, and threw it out, threw it out, took her phone and slammed it and threw it out in the field out there.
Wow.
I mean, to be
man.
fair, I instigated everything, so
You always
know,
do.
It was
People
good.
are gonna be like, "Oh, why?" Yeah, I instigated it for about 6 hours, so it's fine. It's fun. I had a blast.
She handled it well.
Well, you did grow up like just fighting with your brother and doing
I
all
got the
that, so you're
daylights
kind of
beat out
used
of
to
me on
the
a daily
whole.
basis.
The whole.
Have you ever heard of brush torture
No.
or tap torture?
Oh, like where, like on the chest or on
Well,
the face?
no, my brother he did the tap
the
torture on the
forehead.
middle of my forehead,
Yeah.
but brush torture was he'd pin me. I don't know if I should really. I won't tell you the whole thing, but anyway. And take one of those like round brushes and ask me questions I didn't know the answer to. Like when he was into like Primus and Nirvana, and he'd be like, "Who's the guitarist for Primus?" And I wouldn't know the answer, and he'd go. So I mean,
Like, what kind of brush was it? Was it like a paintbrush?
no, like a. You're not a
Like a-
chick. You
like
don't
a
know.
hairbrush?
Yeah, like a hairbrush.
Where would he put it at?
My neck.
Oh,
It didn't hurt.
like
He
the
just-
ones with like the little round
like
ends.
yeah, the
Okay,
soft,
yeah.
soft bristles. Whatever. It's fine. Okay, you
Tell
guys
me
ready
your
for
face
some
looks like
random? What's wrong with my face? What are you trying to say?
Take it how you will.
What's the worst tasting thing you've ever eaten?
The worst taste.
Ooh, I know this one. This was easy
Skunk
for
jelly bean.
me. Ooh, that was really gross.
A skunk jelly bean.
Yeah, we did that Bean Boozled thing with when Palladino was on the podcast.
It was really bad.
Where it's like you have a jelly bean game or whatever, and you flick this thing, and it's like a little spinner,
Yeah.
and it lands on whatever color jelly bean. Well, one of them is a good flavor, and one of them's a crappy flavor. And the black one is both crappy flavors because it's either skunk or licorice, which who likes
That's
black
really
licorice?
bad.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And it was awful.
That's really bad.
I bit into it and spit it out immediately. Palladino ate 3 skunk jelly beans.
He had so
Yeah.
many. What's
Wow.
I
yours?
think.
I ate part of a chicken beak.
Ew, why chicken
On
beak?
purpose?
It was accidental. We were in Africa and
Ooh.
we were going kind of village to village, and part of the deal was if they offered you meat, you had to eat it
Had
because
to
it
take
was
it?
would be an insult not to. And they just beat this chicken to death, and then kind of sort of boiled it with feathers on it still. And there was a
Oh.
beak and the whole thing, and they were excited. And I was sitting on a 3-legged chair. They had one chair in the whole village, and it was 3-legged, so you're trying to balance. And yeah, it had part of that
That's
beak,
pretty
and it
bad,
was
yeah.
pretty nasty.
It's kind of gross.
Gosh, I don't know. It's pretty. There's been so many things
Yeah.
that they didn't like.
What comes to mind?
Yeah.
You're saying MREs were terrible.
Oh my gosh, MREs are so
What's
bad.
that?
There was actually
Meals
this,
ready to eat.
Oh.
Military.
Yeah, they're basically like these meals that come in that were probably made in like 1960. There was this one thing. It was in a survival kit. It's literally like a chunk of like lard, and it looked like a stick of butter or like a bar of butter, I guess, and like it was supposed to you
cooking?
could take a bite of it and it had like 1,000,000 calories in it, so it would last for a long time, and that was pretty rough. It tasted like candle wax and just it tasted like soap, like soap and candle wax. It was awful.
Ugh. I had lamb brains in Serbia.
Ooh.
That was like being on Fear Factor, but they spill lamb's blood on the foundation of their homes as like good luck, and then they boil the lamb all day long, and like if you're the guest of honor, pony up some lamb brains.
Wow.
I was literally sitting next to a lady that I look over and she was eating the eyeball, and I was like, I felt like I was in Indiana Jones.
I've had rabbit eyeball.
What?
Yeah, they have electrolytes in them.
Really?
That's serious.
Well,
Yeah, so like if you in survival school, the same thing actually. You learn how to kill like rabbits, skin them and eat
snare
'em.
and stuff.
And then they have that. They're like the eyeballs are full of electrolytes. And so
But can't you die if you only eat rabbits because they're so lean?
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, you can
probably
like
not enough
starve. I think you
calories?
can starve by only eating rabbits.
and you have to like check parts of them for diseases too.
really?
Like only certain months, right? Certain
Yeah.
months you can't eat them.
If something I can't remember what it was, but if something's spotted on I want to say it was like the kidney or the liver, something spotted on it, you don't want to eat it. Like you don't
Gotcha.
eat the rabbit.
But that's like you watch all these survival shows and stuff, and like they just go out and eat these things. How are these things not contaminated? And it's like, what was that story? Where Into the Wild, where the guy goes and he finds the moose, but if you eat it when it's rotten, then like you die.
Oh yeah, you don't eat rabbit.
Like there's.
You don't ever eat rotten meat.
Yeah, I know, but like how long can the animal like it can't be dead for that long, and you have to like
right.
I don't know.
I don't
have
know.
those survival
Somebody will
skills.
tell
The
us.
best one was
Someone will let us
Just don't
know.
eat rotten moose.
I mean, the best survival thing
Yeah,
that I
like
ever saw was when
t-shirt.
Bear Grylls took that elephant poop and squeezed it into his mouth for water for like hydration. Oh, you have to check it out. Like Man vs. Wild.
Okay.
No, you
I've
did you see
watched
the one where
part
he's
of
at
that,
Did you see the one where Will Ferrell ate the survival Twinkie at the
Yeah.
beginning?
No, it was
That
a
was
Snickers
funny.
bar.
So it was a Snickers
he had like
bar?
2 Snickers bars, and he's like,
that was funny.
and he's like, I panicked. He ate it like within like the first 10
That
minutes.
was awesome. Did you see the one where he was on the boat, like floating out to sea or whatever, and he gives himself an enema
No.
to stay hydrated?
Oh.
Yeah.
This was Bear Grylls?
Yeah. Of course.
I
Why,
love
who
that
else
show.
is
I
going
thought
to
it
do
was
that?
great.
Speaking
I mean-
of enemas, have you ever had a coffee enema?
What?
I've never had an enema, period.
No, either have I.
Silver. Is that something that happens after a certain age?
Is this like a party? Like something that happens at a party or what? Where
So
is
when
that?
you turn 50, no. I just heard somebody talking about it the other day, like on a health
I've
food
heard
thing.
of
that
coffee
Ben
enemas.
Greenfield cat was talking about giving himself a coffee
Why?
enema
What
every
happens?
Wednesday. It just
That dude
clears
he's
you
got
out,
some,
I guess.
he's
Cleans you
got,
out.
Yeah, he was talking about it on Rogan's podcast. He's deep, man. He's
Yeah.
like only eats like wild grasses and stuff for breakfast. And
Like what?
Have
Like
you ever
what's a
listened to
wild
him
grass?
on Rogan's podcast?
No, I've heard of him. But
I mean,
haven't
he's
listened
got
to
some.
him.
He's out there.
Yeah.
Every
some
Wednesday,
stuff, yeah.
coffee enema.
And he said he takes a nap every day and lays on one of those mats that send like pulses,
Yeah.
some type of electromagnetic pulse through you, and then I don't know about EMP, but and then wears Normatex, but takes a nap every day, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
And then he's got like a cold tub, like we've been doing.
Yeah, the freezer. Nice.
He's got that, and he does
And
sauna.
sauna. Yep.
So what's the what is the thing that he's laying on? The pulse?
I can't remember what they call it.
What does this guy do? What is his job?
He's like a Spartan race type.
Well, his big thing is fitness. He used to be like a trainer. And I went to his
Greenfield.
website, and I really liked some of the stuff he had to talk
Really?
about. He had a bunch of stuff on fasting I was looking at. But he does fitness stuff, but then he tries any and everything. Kind of tries it out and then writes about it. So you name it, he's sort of kind of done it. And
Yeah, I feel like everyone has been talking about him lately, so I wasn't sure how he got into
He's been on
all
Rogan a couple times.
yeah, I think that's
Honestly,
kind
I'll have
of
to
blown
listen
him
to
up.
Yep.
Coffee enema, though,
Oh.
There it
try
is.
that.
There it is.
at
I
home.
don't even.
Put that up.
Wonder if you
Okay.
can taste the notes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That would be impressive.
Yeah, that's a Ethiopian blend right there.
Is that a natural process I'm tasting?
I guess that's what's next for you then.
Nah. I'll stick.
Nah.
I'll stick to drinking it like a normally.
Please, you don't have to share it if you decide to go down that. It's
You guys
okay.
could have
No.
You
a
can
good
keep that to
dude's
yourself.
coffee enema.
Yeah, there it is.
Coffee
There it
enema
is
kit.
right there.
Good dude's coffee enema kit.
$1 million idea.
Yeah, it's right there. And don't say I didn't try to help. All right.
Silver will be waiting for his royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll get $6. 6.
Have you ever been an audience member for any television shows?
Nope. Ellie, go ahead and tell what television show you've been on that you didn't tell us for years.
Price is Right.
That's all you're gonna give me? The
That'd have been
Price is
cool.
Right?
I love The Price is
Oh,
Right.
me too. Can I guess? Is it actually a show?
Nickelodeon.
Oh,
Double Dare just came back.
I
I
know.
think you
Come
should
back.
be on Double Dare.
I'm down.
were you? Nickelodeon.
Is this the actual answer? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, Nickelodeon. So how old were you? Like
I don't know.
28, 29?
What would you do?
No, but that's a good guess.
I had no
I
idea.
used to watch a lot of Nickelodeon.
Sports.
What was the one with the kids? It was like, yeah, I can't remember the name
Global
of it.
Guts.
Global Guts. I would never. I couldn't.
She's got a piece of the aggro crag.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It glows.
Where-
Has to be plugged in though, and it's 100 pounds.
Where do they? Is that where do they film down in Florida?
Yes, in Orlando. That's why.
Okay.
But so what happened was after the fact, after Guts was out, they brought a family version that was My Family's Got Guts. So
Yeah.
we tried out for it. And then we
Right.
got on
Yeah.
it.
Now I remember that.
And then
yeah.
we did like the tournament style thing.
Yep.
It was fun.
No, I've never been on a TV show or been in an audience of a TV show or anything like that.
Well, speaking
know.
of The Price is Right, I just read a book where The Third Door, which is it's a really good book. The guy goes around, he's trying to interview all these like people, but to fund his mission, it was the only option he had. He got free tickets to The Price is Right, so it was take a final or study how to win The Price is Right. So he studied how to do it, literally went on the show the next day and won because, so the crazy part is so how they pick the people that get called are like they go through, there's like a guy who wears this vest and he has an assistant and he goes through the line and he looks for people that are being like really rambunctious, basically. So if you get on this list, then they call you over, and then if he whispers to this lady and he scribbles down, then you will be one of the people that are called up, and he found all that out.
No kidding.
So he just followed the guy and
Wow.
just like, even when the guy didn't say his name, he followed him around, like, and sure enough, he got on there.
Boom.
And
then,
he won?
Yeah, so and he
Did
didn't
he
know how
win
to
the?
play.
Did he win the showdown?
Yes, he won. He had to win the whole thing.
Wow.
But he was in line, and the entire time he was in line, the people are like, "You've never played before," and they're like, "So you never guess high, you always go low." And sure enough, he did everything that they told him to do, and
Wow.
won.
Did he
like,
bet did he like $1?
so it
Because
was.
like the showdown, yeah. Like if you go over, like some people just guess $1. But the fact is, you
Yes, yes.
can't win both that way because if you hit,
You're winning
give-
1,000?
Within, I think it was within
Yeah.
100 or something.
You win
Up
both.
or down, you win
Right.
both.
I think it's more than 100, but you're.
I think it's 1,000.
yeah,
might be
I think it's 1,000.
He only won the Showcase Showdown by it was like $125 or something. It was like really close.
Was it Bob or what's the new dude?
The
Drew.
new dude, Drew.
Drew.
Actually, no. Is it still Drew?
I
Is it
don't
still
know
Drew?
who the.
Really?
I feel like it's gotten a lot smaller when I've seen it on TV the last couple of years. It's like
Yeah.
there's not as many people in the crowd. There's not as many people allowed in the crowd, I
Right.
guess.
The show makes me happy. I like to see people jumping around.
Yeah.
I
it
can't
looks
be
really
that
fun.
person, but I like to watch it.
I haven't watched it in years.
I haven't watched it in a long time either.
What one word sums up your high school experience?
Party.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I don't know.
Do you remember that long?
That's a long time ago. Shit, that's back before we were still using parchment and stuff.
Papyrus.
And our pens had quills or feathers on them.
You could probably still get beat by the teachers back then.
You could.
They were still whipping kids when I was there. My math teacher in 8th grade had a paddle that he named Scorch.
Scorch?
Yeah.
I remember seeing kids
Wow.
walk out in the hall with Scorch, and then all of a sudden you'd hear whack.
There was this kid that got bullied all the time, and he lived down the street from me, and I kind of sort of took him under my wing, so to speak. And one morning we had just got off the bus. His name was Chris. I better not say his last name. And we were messing around or whatever, and I pushed him and shoved him into the snow. We were just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a kid that I was actively trying to help.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, the vice principal, who was a big dude, had me by my collar, took me into his office, picked me up, and threw me into the window. there was like blinds and bang, back in the blinds, and I'm tired of kids picking on Chris, and I'm like, sir, no.
Did they ever go back to Chris and say,
Yeah, it got worked out, and my mom came in. My mom's a little tiny lady, and
lit you up or lit him up?
Man, the people in the office got it from her.
For throwing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know the circumstances of what was happening.
Right.
You know.
But that was still when you could kind of get after it. Like,
Yeah, you can't do that now.
no.
No. I don't remember anyone getting. I don't think it was allowed in the school that I went to.
Paddling was.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was 8th grade was the last I remember that, though.
Scorch.
Scorch.
Jeez.
They tried to put me, and my parents tried to put me in a private school, like a Christian school, and you had these cubicles that you had to sit in all day in a cubicle, and they had these little books called Paces, and so you would read your assignment, and then you would go over to the answer key behind you on a little island and correct your work, and if you had any questions, you weren't allowed to talk. You had to put up a little flag to get the and I was in hell. So I figured how to cheat. So I would just go over to the answer queue, write down all the answers, and then I brought a book and was reading a book all day long. And then the principal found out or whatever and brought me into the principal's office, and he's like, well, we're going to have to spank you. And I was like, well, if you think you can.
Oh, my God. Spanking's such a funny thing. Have you ever heard the Louis C.K. on spanking? Oh, my gosh, it's really funny. He's like, it's like the only time, where you actually physically hit someone else for doing, when they're little,
right.
For doing something else. Could you imagine if you got spanked as an adult? Come here, we have to spank you.
Come here.
We should do a whole day like that. Somebody screws up,
Spanking.
you get spanked.
I'm not opposed to spanking,
right.
But I think there's certain things that are necessary, to be like, hey, this is very serious, you can't do it. But it's just such a funny thing to think about, when else does that ever happen?
Right.
Other than when you're a small child learning.
Right. It is different. I think I only spanked my kids maybe a couple of times, and it was for really rebellious stuff. Stuff that was, I didn't really have to. We did.
Right.
It wasn't something that was necessary.
I think if you show them enough intimidation, they're just oh, I did something bad. Dad's not happy.
Right.
Lakeland doesn't care. She does not care.
You said you didn't get spanked, right?
I only got punted one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad punted me. Never spanked me. Now, I'm sure when I was real little, my mom would smack my hands or whatever.
Right,
don't do that or whatever, because I've seen her do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dad, one time I was taking some trash. We used to, crucify me if you want, but we used to burn some of our trash, our cardboard and stuff.
Right.
We had a burn barrel.
Yeah.
And so I was taking this trash, and I'd already pissed him off early in the day by doing something stupid. And so I'm swinging this bag of trash, and I go to chuck it down to the burn barrel. Well, Dad just happens to be driving by, and it hooks my finger and goes straight over to his truck. And I'm like, oh no. And I just slow motion see the bag of trash hit the side of the truck with his windows down. And I just see his face. And I'm like, gone. I take off sprinting.
Right.
About halfway up to the house, I feel the back of my shirt pick up. Whack, one kick. I land on my butt, get right back up, take off up into the house. Keep going. Go to my room. I'm like, oh, I'm dead. He comes back. He comes up there probably 30 minutes later and apologized. But my dad, man, now he doesn't intimidate me, and he's gonna watch this and probably text me and be like, "Well, what do you mean I don't intimidate you?" But he when we were young, man, he would give you that look or start in on you, and you were like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm dead."
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm dead.
No. I only remember one spanking too, and it was I was being a little knucklehead, taking a toy and throwing it down the stairs. And I kept throwing it down the stairs, and my dad's like, "Stop doing that," and I'm like, and I was like, "No." I literally said no to him, I think, and I grabbed it and threw it, and he grabbed a wooden spoon, and he started spanking my butt with a wooden spoon, and every time he spanked me, I laughed harder, and then it broke until the spoon broke, and that was really stupid.
Oh no!
Because then it was his hand hurt way worse than that wooden spoon. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
My mom tried to spank me with a belt, and she didn't fold it up.
Oh.
So it was out long, and it was catching on her, and then we're laughing, and then everything turned out all right because she started laughing. But
it's just funny that it's interesting that people think I should hit these kids with an object, instead of my hand. I don't know. I think that sounds so much worse. Your hand, okay? I can.
An object sounds painful,
right? Doesn't it? It's That's assault with a deadly weapon.
I think like
That's assault, brother.
looking back for me though, I pretty much deserved.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
a
Right,
rotten
right.
kid. I was like Lakeland only, just rebellious and mean
Yeah.
and nasty and
Lakeland, man, she's
Pain is a hell of a teacher.
yeah.
You know.
I'd say so. I don't think I ever got spanked, but see, my brother was the only one that inflicted anything on me. And I'll never forget, he was sitting on the couch one day, and it was just, just so pent up. I was so frustrated because, he always got the best of me. So I crawled up behind him, behind the couch, and I took both my hands, and I boxed his ears as hard as I could. And all I remember is his body was flying over the couch, and you have to run around a little island in my house, and I was just screaming, running down the island straight for the hallway. And I got to the door, and I locked it, and I sat in the corner, and I started sobbing, and he goes, just very calmly, you can't stay in there forever. And then I got smashed. Sure enough.
Yeah, the older brother. Yeah, I have an older brother, and I'd hit him and I'd run. I'd run forever. I'd run until I got caught, probably most of the time.
Let's see here.
Next question.
What's the most adventurous or daring thing you've ever done? That's hard. I don't know.
Is that the most stupid thing we've ever done?
I was about to say, I've got several of those.
I got some stupid stuff.
We built a street luge and went down the mountain.
Yeah.
Got up to like 55.
No, 55?
Got in trouble by the cops.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Down the front side of this
Front
thing?
side of the mountain, yeah.
Woo!
That's solid.
Yeah, I built a street luge out of...
How'd you make all the corners?
You just lean. This thing was pretty sweet. It was 2 roller skate trucks on the back and a skateboard truck on the front. So it was wider in the back than the front. And then it was like a 2x... Dad helped us with this. It was a 2x6, I think. I don't think it was a 2x8. It was 2x6, I'm pretty sure. Had a little ramp for your head. And then you had... At the end, you had place for your feet there, and then wood. And then you just... As you'd go down, you'd just lean which way you wanted it to go. And just...
Man.
We'd have one car in front, one car behind, just to make sure there were no cars coming.
You got in trouble? What do you mean you got in trouble?
Somebody called the cops. So I made it down one time. I'm kind of just standing there in the ditch with this 4 or 5 foot tall thing, and cop goes, "You guys can't ride your skateboard down the hill anymore." I said, "Yes, sir." Just got in the truck and left. He's no big deal.
I bungee jumped off a hot air balloon.
Nice.
Wow.
And I think mentally that was the freakiest thing I've ever done. Because the bungee's tied to your feet.
And to a hot air balloon.
And then you have to get out of
Yeah.
the balloon. And that little stand that you're on is really small. And I just, there's no parachute or...
What was the motivator for that?
I don't know, just having fun.
And you just saw bungee jumping hot air balloon? I'm in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh.
But that was pretty freaky when I don't know, maybe you just kind of had to get right. Like, okay, if this doesn't work out, it doesn't work
dead.
out.
So Josh says he is every time he flies.
Yeah, I'm dead.
What?
Just
That's
what
what
it
you
is.
say?
Yeah, I think it's the control thing. Like,
I
I'm
hate
not
flying.
I'm not in control. Like, I don't like hate.
Sorry,
I don't hate it. It
care
doesn't
for it.
I'm not stressed out about it. But whenever I'm on the plane, I'm like, yeah, this thing can go down easily.
But no, they can't go down that easily.
Exactly. You're right. After you think about it, you're like, it's really not that big of a deal. Think about how many planes take off every day.
I don't know. I don't care for turbulence.
If it goes down, you probably won't suffer that much either.
Right. Yeah.
Man, but that oh yeah, I don't even want to visualize that. That just
I can't
sounds
watch that
horrible.
show. Why do planes crash? I'm
No,
like,
I
why
refuse
would
to watch
anyone
that.
want to watch
That's
that?
a show?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's terrible.
Because you wouldn't get back on a plane.
I've never put it on. I've never wanted to watch it, and I'm like, why would anyone want to watch that?
What was the worst turbulence you guys have ever been in? Have you actually been on any really bad flights or no?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a couple good ones.
I feel like there was one we were going on a good dudes thing overseas. I don't know if it was, and it the plane dropped probably. It felt like 1,000 feet.
Yeah, I remember that now.
I just remember the stewardess is kneeling down in the aisle and I don't know. You're just like, well, I'm over to the ocean. If we go down,
No.
we're gone.
We're done.
That's.
I told you about trying to get over the Continental Divide in the Cessna.
Oh yeah, that's not. No.
Castaway. The beginning of Castaway, the plane crash scene, that's intense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, not interested in that.
That's a crazy
Oh,
movie.
the story. When I was going to London here recently, so we get in the plane, and we go to take off, and we're it was the international flight. It was from Atlanta to London, And so we're taking off, and all of a sudden, like right after takeoff, it's like, boom.
Oh yeah, you had to come back.
And it was like,
No.
and I'm like,
come on.
boom. And I'm
No.
like, I'm kind of like, sitting up in my seat, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, is anybody? And the lady behind me was like, what was that? And her husband's like, nothing, darling, shut up, go back to sleep. It was like an older couple, and she's like, no, I heard something. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I heard it too. And I'm looking at the stewardess or the flight attendants, and I'm like, they're not like noticing it or like they didn't look worried.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, must it'll probably go away. And then every couple minutes it started happening. Every couple minutes it was like, boom.
No.
Like boom. Like that's exactly what it sounded like. And it was underneath us.
Was it loud or was it just like that?
It was loud. It was like boom. And I'm like, how? And I'm looking around like no one else is like doing
Even
anything.
thinking
And I'm like, my heart's thumping at this point. And I'm like, okay, this isn't good. Finally, I see the flight attendants are taking calls from the captains, and then a flight attendant comes by me, and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, like, what's going on? Like, what is this noise we keep hearing? And she's like, what noise? She's like, I'm not hearing any noise. And like right as she said it, it was like, boom. And she's like, oh, I heard that. And she's like, I don't know. Let me go check, And then like literally like 30 seconds later, one of the other flight attendants comes on. He's like, we speak to the captain. There's nothing wrong with the plane. We hear the noise that you guys are hearing too, but we're not sure what it is. So no flights, nothing is happening with the
instruments.
Yeah, the instruments. The engines are fine. We're talking back to air traffic control and everything, and we're good. So he's like, we're gonna try to figure it out. We'll keep you informed. Like 3 minutes later, we're still hearing it every like 30 seconds. And they're like, well, we don't know what this noise is, but it's not good, or it's not normal. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the flight around, and we're gonna go back to Atlanta. We were in the air for about 40 minutes at this time.
Ugh.
So we had to fly back. It took like 40 minutes to get back.
Did it make the same sound the whole way back?
Yeah, the whole time.
Oh.
And so we landed. I'm like, all I was thinking about the whole time was like, let's just land. And they're like, and we already have another plane and another crew ready for you guys. So it should be a quick, change to the flight, and we'll get you back on your way. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so we get on another plane, a different plane, completely different plane. It was the same type of plane, but it was a different one. I saw it because it was literally parked right next to the terminal that we landed at. And so we get on, and we go to take off, and I'm like, okay. And I'm kind of like trying to relax, and like 2 minutes into this next flight,
No.
boom.
No! On a different plane?
Boom. Yeah, the exact same noise.
And you and everyone else, the same people from the other
like,
flight.
I look up at the guy like to the right, and I'm like, did you hear that? And he looked at me, he's like, I did. And I'm like, that's the same noise, right? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is absurd.
Oh my.
At this point I'm like, and the same lady behind me is like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like she's kind of starting to like panic.
Everyone's freaking
And
out.
so the same thing happens. The captain comes on. She's like, we hear this again. This is not normal sound. So again, to be safe, we were almost at the exact same spot. Like I think we were like literally flying over Charlotte, and then she's like, we're gonna turn around and go land again.
No.
And
why couldn't they just land in Charlotte?
Right?
that's what I kept saying. I'm like Charlotte's right below us. Let's land there, not go back to Atlanta. Anyway, so we get on the ground and we land again safely, and I was just like, okay, thank you, Lord. And at that point it was like 1 a.m. and so they're like, okay, we're gonna put you guys all in hotels, and we'll get you on a flight tomorrow. And so like finally I come, the next day, and I'm like, neither of these are the planes that we were on last night, right? They're like, no, both those flights are still grounded. I was like, okay, cool. And we got on, and it was good. And like, it was in the news.
Did you ever figure out what it was?
It was in the news.
I remember it being in the news.
Yeah, it was in the news, but they never like said what it was. So what it sounded like to me, it sounded like metal hitting metal. So I don't know like what they used to put the luggage in underneath these planes, and so it could have been something like those, maybe a big metal like shelving system that had rollers on it or something,
right.
And it wasn't like buckled in, because that's what it sounded like.
Right.
It sounded like a big dumpster slamming against like a metal wall.
Right.
So I don't know.
Not something
Was
you
it
want to be on
rhythmic? I mean, was the time between the sound
So
the same?
I
Or?
was like on my watch.
Well, I was
Smart.
like, okay, we're still like going up. So I was like, okay, but then we flatten out, and then it was still doing it. And that was what was like, that was what confused me.
Wow.
Because that was the thing. I was like, it's got to be cargo, just
Right.
shifting. But man, it was weird. That was a strange day.
Wow.
I was like, I don't like this.
That's crazy.
2 flights to nowhere.
2 flights and the exact same. Like, it was nuts.
Good for you getting on the plane
Did
the
you watch
next
any
day.
movies?
I was like, I just sat there and I was like, the whole time I'm like, okay. I'm really good at just dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
Like you saw me in the freezer yesterday.
The freezer. What happened in the
I mean,
freezer?
I was just like, like cold water. I don't like it, but I just deal with it. So
You probably should explain that.
yeah.
So people
we
aren't
have,
getting
yeah.
in a freezer.
We have a freezer. We filled it up with water.
yeah, we did the cold tubs.
Cold tub.
basically, and it's
Turn
like
it into a cold tub.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's like
been-
38 degrees, and I get in. The moment I get into a cold tub,
He literally starts
I
shivering.
just start shivering.
Shivering, like full body shiver.
Yeah, same thing. When I was in Buds, the cold water was everything. Like for me, that was it. I was just like, I hate this, but I'm really good with dealing with it. I'm just like in my head, and I don't like distractions. I don't like to be distracted to like get over through stuff. I like to deal with it. I
Right.
like to like just sit there and like
Yeah.
Yep.
be in my misery,
Yep.
and I feel like I handle it better that way.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's pretty much like in that situation with the airplane. I was just like, I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna sit here and be with my thoughts.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah,
Oh man.
it's good times.
Wow.
Let's see. Do you guys have a passive aggressive side? What? What's so funny?
Just aggressive.
I hate passive aggressive with all my heart.
Yeah.
So that's your pet peeve as well.
I don't have. You know what I hate about my pet peeve is people who say they have pet peeves. I hate that word.
Why?
I don't know why.
But
Like,
What's the origin of
that's
that
one of my
word?
pet peeves.
Yeah.
What's
I don't
it-
know
You
You know
why.
the only
I
thing
don't
I
know.
really don't like is
Your pet peeve?
you know what my pet peeve is? When you go to the toilet and somebody has a roll of toilet paper on top
Oh.
of the roll of toilet, like
Yeah.
it's
I've heard you
empty,
say that
and they
before.
can't just put the roll of toilet paper
Right.
on the. That's the only thing that I really bugs me.
I don't
Yeah, I don't like that either.
like when people are rude to wait staff.
Oh yeah, that's tough
That,
too.
Yeah.
that drives me nuts. I don't think there's.
I don't like it when people complain about like kids crying in
Oh yeah,
restaurants
or in
Yeah.
flights.
or in flights
You're
or
like,
anything
do
like
you
that. You're
realize-
just like,
Like,
you
there's
have
no
no
control,
idea
yeah.
until you have kids. You have no idea the stress that those parents are going through. Like whatever it is you're dealing with. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's why they make noise canceling headphones.
Yeah,
If you don't bring
for
them, it's
sure.
your fault.
Right.
Kids,
fair.
kids on a plane are not fun. If they're your kids, is what I'm saying. Like,
It's just so
it's
stressful.
so hard.
It's so stressful.
Because you're like, oh, everybody's looking at us.
Right.
Everybody's pissed off.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
Because
it's
everybody
usually
is.
our kid that's that
Exactly.
kid.
Yeah. Right. I had a rough one with Jack once. I was like, pfft. And the flight attendant came up to me and she was like, "Does he need to be fed? Does he need a diaper?" I'm like, "Get away from me, lady."
He's my child.
I'm like, "He's just tired."
Yeah.
He's just.
Lakeland actually did really great on that one flight we had to Florida.
Oh
and
my
back.
gosh!
Now
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
Now they're awesome.
Yeah.
Like you give them an iPad,
Good to go.
coloring book. They're
Good to
great.
go.
In what area of your life are you immature? Silver, you're wise. Are
Every-
you ever immature?
Every area.
Yeah. I have to
Yeah.
think about that.
How much time you got? Where do I begin?
I don't know. I've never thought about that like that. I'm trying not to be immature in any ways. I get hungry. I get a little grumpy. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I'm immature when I don't get to exercise and when I'm hungry.
Oh yeah.
I just
Little
don't really
hangry.
think. Yeah.
I can be immature with like impulse buying stuff. It's
Yep,
like, yeah,
me
this
too.
isn't.
Amazon's
What were
the
your
worst.
last
Yeah.
impulse buys?
Freezer.
But you've been using
I've used it every day though since I bought it.
Right,
So
that's not an impulse buy. I impulse buyed a mini skate ramp or a half pipe for my boys.
kids use it though, right?
When?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Like it was like they were like they started doing skateboarding. Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you like skateboarding? Let's get a half pipe.
I'm like, okay.
Like,
I
yeah.
definitely impulse bought that Apple Watch.
Yeah,
Did you
didn't
end
wear
up
that thing
sticking
very
with it, or
long.
did you bring it back,
Yeah,
or what'd you do with
just
it?
makes
I
me
told
angry.
you. I told you.
I know. You were so right.
I told you. I'm
I had
like
a
that.
couple watches that I have bought and was like, nah, I'm good.
I have an Apple Watch for sale, by the way.
Yeah.
Email me.
Message us.
Yeah.
What generation?
It's a new one.
It's a
It's
third?
a brand new one.
Yeah.
You didn't bring it
man.
back? Is it outside that window?
You're,
Yeah.
you're too connected with that thing.
I know.
And that's
it
what
just
he
bugged
wanted.
the
Was
heck out of me.
he wanted less connection.
I thought I was going to be able to get rid of my phone. And I
No,
wouldn't
you
have to
have
have my phone, and then I would just have that on my and I felt like I was like
it's awful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do like their big selling point was like, oh, you can do the GPS and the sports and stuff like that. And it's like you go to flick your wrist and it doesn't pop up and you're like, okay.
What's that one?
I need my split.
What's that one?
This is the Garmin Phoenix.
You like that one, right?
I love this one. Yeah.
Plus, I couldn't see it. I didn't have my readers.
Because you could you program the workout we did yesterday into it.
Yeah. You could do that.
What is wrong with your face?
That's right.
I don't know.
The workout that we both
dominated.
The workout that we both dominated Ellie in?
No, okay.
You got crushed.
Okay, we're going to... Silver's going to mediate.
I don't even know anything about it because I wasn't up here, so let's talk about it.
Good, let's talk about it.
If you are not...
Ellie, just relax. Calm down.
All right. I'm not calm right now.
Don't be passive
Hold
aggressive.
on, let me tell you the workout. The workout was
great. Now the
workout was mountain bike up the hill, which is nasty, to the church, around the church sign, and back. Did you guys go around the church sign?
Yeah.
Or just go to the parking lot?
No, we went to pass the street.
No, you didn't. You're a liar.
Yes, I swear.
You went around the church sign, came back to the pond.
Bold-faced liar.
Swim 6 laps around the pond, and then bike back to the church and back down.
These are things that you should be really excellent at, by the way.
She is really excellent.
Like right in her wheelhouse. And you got smashed anyways?
Crushed.
First of all,
I beat her by 4.5 minutes.
Okay, here's the thing.
4.5 minutes? That's like an eternity.
I beat her by 50 seconds.
They removed my wheelhouse, which would be running. They took running out of the equation.
You can ride and swim, though. I don't know. You're pretty good at that.
The transition area was different. We didn't go at the same time
or
at the same time of day.
We were on the exact same equipment. We went at a hotter time of day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't know what the wind conditions are like.
The pond, actually, when we
got
to...
no wind.
They rode their bikes to the pond. I ran down to the pond and had to run up from the pond.
We also had to ride up to the... Whose fault is it that you don't... It was ride your bike to the pond, get out of the pond, ride your bike back up. We never said, hey, you have to drop your bike at the top of the hill and run down.
I feel like if I would have made any of these excuses, you would have told me to shut up a long time ago.
I just don't think when you're not going head-to-head to people, I would have died to beat them.
Why are you screaming?
I'm not screaming.
4.5 minutes.
I do understand.
That's really not that
long.
That's 2 laps around the pond.
4.5 minutes.
And the thing was that when we got to the pond, for some reason, it was weird. The water was all gone.
We had to
fill the pond up, and we still dominated you.
They didn't dominate.
I did.
I don't know.
I got 3 flat tires on that bike ride. Too.
No, you did not.
Change my bike.
And he only beat me by 40 seconds, which is
50
again
seconds.
No.
50.
Who said that? Who's the boss of the? And they think my time was not the time. That was my time.
I'm the boss.
It was the official clock. We used the official clock for both times.
Yeah.
Let's do a real triathlon.
Not right now.
Yeah.
September sometime.
Huh? Yeah.
Nah, they'll chicken out.
I'll do I've actually always wanted to do an Ironman, a full Ironman.
I actually have too.
With no preparation.
No, that's
I would die.
Your joints wouldn't make it.
Are you kidding?
No offense.
Have you seen my knees?
Your joints and the chafing would not.
You have no skin left.
Like I said, I can deal with misery.
I don't know. The misery that I had when we did that triathlon.
I could do it.
I'll explain off air.
Yeah.
It was not pleasant.
So when we used
that's my goal though. Is I want to do it without training. Like I don't want.
Why though?
Like or like.
Well, that would take a different mental.
Where we at, Jim?
I want to go with like you know.
Sorry, you want to what? I'm listening.
With straight,
Crystal?
like.
She's gone.
Like not like specific training, I guess is what I mean by that.
yeah.
Like I don't want to like we can obviously still do CrossFit and like all the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like I'm specifically training for this Ironman.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is though, is like I mean, and we've talked about this before. Like if you look at adaptation though, I just don't know. I think it would be really. I mean, unless you're.
I mean, my goal is to finish, and that's the goal.
I know, but that it's just aggressive before. Like I don't know. It also I bet it depends on the percentage of fast twitch versus slow twitch muscle fibers you have in your body.
Right. I mean, it's a 2.4 mile swim, right?
Mm-hmm.
A
okay, so you can get through that.
115 mile bike.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
115 is that what it is?
Yeah, that's 112.
112.
And 26 points.
Yeah, and then
the marathon, honestly, after that is what I'd be concerned about. Your body shutting down and you not making the time.
No, there is no time.
Oh, you're saying with no limits.
No limits.
Oh, well, then I would walk the 26.2 miles.
You could get through it as a walk.
What is the time? Is there
18 hours or 16 hours, something like that?
Yeah, 16 or 18.
There's certain cutoffs. I could make the swim and the bike. The run, I don't know.
Man.
I mean, and
that's
the
just so legit. I have so much respect for someone who can do that.
There was a guy. Have you ever heard of the Iron Cowboy?
We had this whole podcast on this guy.
Never mind.
And he's going to come hang out with us.
Is he?
Yeah, he heard the podcast.
The Iron Cowboy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, the 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 states.
Yeah.
That is the most unbelievable
But
thing.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
can't
like,
almost believe that's real.
And the thing that I heard or I was reading about it was that the fact that he said he got better.
He got faster.
Yeah, he got faster.
after 30.
It's awesome.
Once he hit 30, he said he woke up and he craved doing them. But I asked Hinshaw the other day, I said, it was the same question because I think anatomically some people could pull that off, but other people
I think it would mess me up, for a while.
But think of some people can't finish a dang marathon because their body shuts down.
Right.
It's not even. It's I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know.
I think
that's.
I think I could do it. I just want to do it. I don't want to say I don't want to say I think I could do it. I want to try.
So what are you gonna do it?
I'll do it whenever.
I'll do it right now.
I'll do it. Yeah, let's
You
go
do it right now?
Let's go. Let's go.
We can do it in the pond. We can. I know where we can ride.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I want to go.
I don't know. I gotta go somewhere with colder water than your pond water.
Yeah.
That pond
Colder
water.
temperature too.
Yeah.
Let's go on a 100-mile bike ride this weekend.
No.
Why?
I'll try it.
Remember the
The
last
plight
time
of
we did.
Josh Bridges. Did we ever?
Ellie, do you remember what happened the last time we did an 80-mile bike ride?
Silver, you got to back me up on this.
Was I involved?
No.
Was I
Last time
alive? Where was I?
We did
Whatever,
an 80-mile
Marcus.
bike ride, and I beat her by 2 hours.
He drafted behind two grown men.
I did not draft behind two grown
Two
men.
grown men.
2
through-
hours?
2 hours.
It was not 2.
It was 2 hours. It took me 4 something, and it took you 6
It did
something.
not. I was alone on gravel roads in the middle of Tennessee. But I literally at one point was audibly yelling, "What is going on?" It just left me, and he drafted
Was it
off
just
two
you two?
dudes.
No, it was like a huge charity ride.
Ride to
We
the
started
sky.
riding. I got off
So
with
there
the
were other
faster.
people around.
I got with a faster group.
No.
She fell off
No,
and died.
Rich we all started together. Rich didn't even look back and left
Because
everybody.
there was 80 people or 100 people
you
doing
stay
it.
with your pack.
What? Not when your pack's slow.
Ooh, I thought you were.
Hey, what's the story when you guys were riding? You three were riding on the mountain, and you somewhere made a wrong turn or
Well,
Well,
something.
this is just the life at and Pfeiffer Mountain.
Right.
You know,
Because
it's like
someone leaves everybody.
you got a guy, right, Rich, who knows what is going on, and everyone else is just kind of trying to read his brain.
Everybody else knew where they were going.
I didn't know.
And
where I
you
was
got
going.
in between the two groups.
So what
and
happened
thought,
was- what
I'll
happened
catch
was-
Rich by himself.
No,
missed.
Well, Rich is just see you later, dickhead. You know, he takes off.
Can't keep up.
He can't keep up.
No, Rich
So
didn't want
anyways,
to wait.
survival of the
Hewitt got a
fittest.
flat tire.
Yeah, someone got a flat tire behind me, and I was like, well, I don't want to wait for that. I'll try to just hang out with Rich.
Why would we wait for people and help them?
No, yeah. You had 3 people. How many people does it take to change a tire? I wasn't like, oh, there's one guy who needs to change his tire. I'm going to let him go. No, there was 5 people. I'm like, okay.
I'm just trying to improve my fitness.
They
here.
got this. Rich is trying to improve his fitness.
Trying to win championships.
And he's like, and they're like, hey, you're going to turn at this church. And I'm like, okay. So
There's 18 churches on that
if
route.
if you've ever been on this route,
3.
all there are churches on every
Yes.
block and corner. So I'm like, I'm driving. He's like, just go down the road. You make a left at the church. And I'm like, what's the name of the church?
turn
We
left
don't
on
know. What's the name of the road? We don't
Board
know.
Valley Road.
Yeah.
We did tell you that. We did tell you Board Valley Road.
No,
I know
you
we
didn't.
did.
False.
I know we did.
False.
I know we did.
Objection.
False. So anyways, somebody misses the turn. Me, right? And because I'm by myself at this point. And I remember him saying it was 25. It was a 25-mile loop. And I was like, I didn't have my watch on me, and I didn't have my phone on me. So, oh wait, no, maybe but I just had, I had a timer watch. So I just had a timer watch. I didn't have a GPS watch. And so I'm like, I kind of know what I could do 25 miles in. And at an hour and a half, I'm like, that's about what I should be coming in at. And then I'm like, okay, it should be coming up. The turn should be coming up.
Right.
And at this point, I must have been way past it. And so I keep going, and I'm just like, I'll just stay straight on this road until I see another church. And all of a sudden, I hit Highway 40 out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay.
You got to 70 and 40
Or 70,
runs
yeah,
parallel
70, yeah,
with-
right, right, 70. So all I know is I kept trying to be I think Pfeiffer Mountain's to my left. I'm like, I think that's Pfeiffer Mountain. I think that's Pfeiffer Mountain. So I'm looking down at my watch now, and it's 2 hours in. I'm like, okay, I should definitely have hit the church, and I should have definitely be going uphill by now. And I wasn't, right? So I'm coasting down one of the Highway 70, and I'm screaming at cars going past me, where is Pfeiffer Mountain? And everyone's like, I don't know,
The same thing happened to Ted and Tasia.
Yeah. And so, I'm like, I'm not stopping to ask these people. I'm gonna continue to bike, but I'm like, I have a little bit of sense of direction. So I'm like, I know this is Pfeiffer Mountain, like over here. I know this, like it's in this direction. So it's to my left. And so finally, I like pull up to a driveway, and there's a woman walking out the driveway. And after I'm like, okay, I need to stop and ask someone now. It's like I'm at like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and she's like, oh, literally the street across from her. She's like, if you just take that road up there, that's Pfeiffer Mountain. Like, that'll take you right up to Pfeiffer Mountain, like 5 miles up that road. And I'm like, all right, here we go. This hill was straight
awful.
uphill.
Sheep Bluff. He went up Sheep Bluff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm like, it's only 5 miles. You can do this. And at this point, you're like 2 hours and 30 minutes in. And I get back, and no one's here.
Because we're trying to look. We're looking for them.
Yeah, so I'm like, they'll come back. They'll be fine. And
So how far do you think you rode?
It was 38 miles.
Yeah.
30, we tracked it later, and we
miles.
later on did the plight of Josh Bridges.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
man.
have experience being left behind.
Yep.
Where Rich took off.
What happened?
And then, well, you were there. We went down that dirt road, and you got a flat tire.
One of the. Never mind. Yeah.
I don't know where we turned. It was all wrong.
Yeah, I have a GoPro video of it.
Was that the adventure day where we were just going down random
Yeah.
roads and it dead ended on the gravel road?
You were
Yeah.
here.
We had to get John back or something like that.
Weren't you here?
When you did what?
We were just going around. We were going down.
I've never gone on a bike ride with you.
Those days were
I
fun.
thought
I
for
missed
sure.
that.
Huh.
Nope. I've been on a few bike rides here now, but I don't remember biking with you.
When's our next bike adventure?
I don't know. Yeah, and then Tasia and Ted
That was
did the
awesome.
same
Ride the-
thing, but they didn't go down Sheep Bluff. They just kept going down.
Right, and got to the bottom of the
But Tasia was walking.
Pfeiffer.
Oh, yeah, we found them.
Yeah,
We've
it's-
explained that.
Mm-hmm.
Dirt on their face, just completely.
There was a time when the funeral was driving past, and
That was awesome. Josh, there's a funeral procession coming, so we all pull over.
this is
And,
my
like,
first time clipping in.
we all pull over off into this
It was
front
like
yard,
Yeah.
and we're all on clip. Josh comes flying by us all,
Wiggling my leg.
trying to get his feet out, and some guy goes, "Have some respect, asshole!" And Josh just falls over in the yard
I just braked. I came myself to a full brake and just like fell over.
because he couldn't get his feet out.
I couldn't get my foot
so
out.
good. I don't remember when that was.
Yeah, I don't remember
I
either.
don't know why
Gosh.
you weren't there.
Yeah, that was literally one of the first.
When did you learn how to? How long ago was him learning how to clip in?
That was a while ago.
He wore your shoes.
Yeah, wore your shoes though. The Nike
Nikes.
ones.
Yeah,
That have like the holes.
yeah, they were taped together.
They were literally.
Yeah, I don't know why you weren't there. Why weren't you?
Hey, I was told we have only an hour and 10 on the SIM card.
Oh,
That
is
gives
that
us
where we're
5
at?
minutes.
All right. Well,
Okay.
last question.
Oh, geez. I don't know. That's.
All right, that's it.
Yeah. If you could own a restaurant, what kind would it be?
Burger place,
Donuts.
donuts.
I always thought it'd be cool to own a little bar.
Everybody eats donuts.
I don't know. I don't know.
And can you imagine how it's all profit?
I haven't seen
fried-
the
it's
numbers
fried-
on the
it's
donut
fried
places.
dough.
Fried dough. Who doesn't like donuts?
Everyone loves donuts,
Yeah, right.
unless you can't have gluten and then it hurts your stomach.
Yeah. You still probably worth
But
it.
you still want them, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, that's
No, wait a good one, Ed. Not.
Solid question.
says a lot about your
you
personality.
blew it.
CrossFitMayhem.com. What else? Check us out. Check out the new apparel, new hats.
New hats coming.
Good Dudes hats as well on brand. There's actually on Branded Bill's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually on Branded Bill's site. Our Mayhem hats are on our site. New apparel, new shirts,
New
new
programming.
programming coming out. We got the kids programming online, like summer strength and conditioning program, sports programming. Check that out. We got the M30, and that's pretty much it.
See you later.
Peace.